I'm tired. That's the most honest, open, real thing I could say to start this whole thing off. I'm tired. Not in the, oh man, I got no sleep last night way, or in the, I've been working for 12 hours straight way. No. I'm tired in the, I just played 3 games in a row, each of which fails to impress me way. The first game, Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, was a collectathon that was a copy-paste of other games like Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. Except instead of copying everything that worked from those games, it stripped down the most fun parts, which resulted in a bare-bones game that had not much else to offer other than 7 hours of decent quality. Some would say there's value in that, and sure, why not? It was their first attempt at something like this, and in a time where the genre was just taking off nonetheless. It's not a bad game, not by any means, but to me, it just failed to reach that level of charm and fun that other games did at the time. Jak 2 was when they decided to embrace being different and take the tone to a more serious place. They added gunplay, more characters for Jak to interact with, allowed Jak to speak, and expanded the world of Jak and Daxter by exploring Jak's origins and making the whole world you explore more connected than in the first game. While it accomplished a lot, Jak 2's unnecessarily long playtime and bland missions stopped the game from being as fun as it would have been for me. But surely, they would take the good parts of both of the first games and finally hit the right notes with Jak 3. Wouldn't they? Jak 3 begins by showing Jak being exiled by those in command in Haven City because of his previous association with Crew, who led in the metalheads through the underground tunnels at the end of Jak 2. After being abandoned in the desert, Jak is abducted by the Wastelanders, those who have also been exiled from the city, and is forced to prove himself worthy to the leader, Damus, so that he isn't killed. After completing a bunch of missions, you're brought back to Haven City where you... hold on. What? I can just stroll back into the city now, after I was banished.
It's about time you two got here. What took you so long?
Sorry, we only had a war in the way.
Great work, Jak. Let me be the first to officially apologize for the city.
Forget about it.
So, all it took was for me to save the city for them to see that I did nothing wrong. But I saved the city in the last game, so where's the logic in any of this? The rest of the game just revolves around this giant ship piloted by the Dark Makers flying towards the planet so that they can destroy it. Errol, Praxis's old assistant, wants to harness their power to destroy the planet as well. Meanwhile, Vaegr, the person who kicked Jak out of Haven City in the first place and didn't seem to care that he actually just randomly shows up again in the city later, seeks out the power of the Precursors. Errol is defeated and blown up by Jak, preventing the destruction of the world, and Vaegr is turned into an Ottsel, like Daxter, because his wish to become a Precursor actually ends up backfiring since it turns out that all Precursors are just Ottsels. The story is just straight up uninteresting. It's Jak 2's plot but recycled, with some elements added in like the identity of Jak's father and the Wastelander community. The Wastelander community is barely even explored past the first hour of the game though, since after a while you're just sent back to Haven City where the majority of the rest of the game takes place. Want to know what you're doing in Haven City? Fighting for the city's freedom, hence Jak 3's plot just being a rehashed Jak 2 plot. And Jak's father... No, you know what, why don't we try something out? I'll play a few clips and I want you to tell me what you notice.
You have a reputation for being rash. Didn't your father ever tell you to pick your battles wisely?
I didn't know my father.
You are shaping up to be one of my finest warriors, and I'll need you for the trials ahead. I mustn't lose you, like I lost my son.
You had a child?
Long ago. But much has been sacrificed in this war so that others could live. This rare precursor armor is said to have been worn by Mar himself. I was saving it for my own son, but right now, you should wear it in this difficult time.
Thanks. I don't have anything for you.
You give us all hope, Jak. That is gift enough.
I wonder who Jak's father is. Is it A, Damus, 2, Damus, or thirdly, Damus? Let's roll the clip and find out.
Please, promise me one thing. Promise me you'll find my son, Mar. You'll know him when you see this. He's wearing an amulet just like it. A symbol of our lineage with the great House of Mar. Save the people, Jak. They need you.
Father.
Oh, look at that. It was option all of the above. In what part of the 21st century is this kind of writing mysterious or interesting? Stuff like this? Stuff like this is why I'm just tired at this point. Just like it was obvious that the young kid in Jak 2 was Jak, they put no effort whatsoever to hide the fact that Damus is Jak's father. What's even more insulting is that Jak finds out while Damus is dying, but the game ends on a happy note with everyone celebrating anyways. Oh, and funny thing, you know how in the last video I mentioned how they fixed Daxter and made him an actually humorous character? Well, instead of building on all that work and continuing it, they decided to reduce Daxter's humor to that of a middle schooler who just learned about sex for the first time.
You know what I really miss? Soft underpants. You know how it lifts and cradles? You wouldn't understand.
Wanna try to beat me, Score?
Oh, don't worry. Jak beats things all the time. Hey, Jak? Excuse me, Count Vulgar.
It's Vega!
Yeah, whatever. Isn't it kind of nice just to curl up in the shade sometimes? Just chilling it, watching the hot babes prance around in their skimpy little bikinis. You know, just how they jiggle. I get that special tingling feeling in my tail.
Enough! Enough! Enough!
I don't understand. I don't get it. Did they not see how his humor was plain cringy? Did they not see how obvious the father reveal was from the beginning? Did they not see how much of Jak 2's plot leaked into Jak 3 only to be reused? Did they not care that the opening of the game has almost no repercussions at all upon re-entering Haven City? And you know, it would at least partially make up for it if the game was different or just at least fun. But see, I don't even know if I had fun with the game. Looking back, I don't think I did. When you put as much emphasis on the story as Jak 3 does, it becomes a core part of the game. This sounds obvious, but I say that to point out that when you put that much focus on something, it's expected to carry its weight, especially when it comes to plot. The story is, in most cases, the driving force and motivation behind most of the things you do in video games. So when the plot comes off as dry and lacking like in Jak 3, when you're sent out on missions for plot-related purposes, the experience you have playing the game is therefore affected in a negative way. I mentioned this when talking about Jak 2, but almost every mission given to you in Jak 2 and 3 is just some person rephrasing the sentence, "You need to go and do X so that we can defeat Y." It's a bit hard to explain or put into words, so let me just show you what I mean.
A large storm is heading our way. Prepare the city. Jak, there are 4 wastelanders out there who still have not reported in. I want you to go out and find them. Do whatever it takes to bring them back.
Jak, I need you to go into the sewers, into the Metalhead City section. We need to attack their hive from below, and the sewers are the only way in right now. We haven't been in those old passageways since the war broke out, but no scouts have reported movement down there.
We can't continue to repel such large assaults forever. That floating war factory has got to be shut down. The problem is, the factory is shielded and has gate codes on every access point. Most old KG door ciphers were kept hidden in the main system at the power room. If you can break into the system, you may be able to unlock the war factory doors to get inside.
Onan says the eco-grid in the power room could help you. But to open the old power room, you must find the junction box in the sewer. Personally, I think you're crazy to go down there. But, good luck.
We've got some KG defenses we need eliminated. Super range sniper cannons are keeping our men pinned down. Jak, you need to find those hidden cannons and take them out. There's sure to be an enemy counterattack when they see what you're up to, so watch out. You know the routine. Routine.
Do you see what I mean? Each mission is phrased in the same way when it's given to you. Go kill these enemies so that we can slowly weaken their forces. Go destroy these vehicles so that we can eventually free the city. Go destroy the enemy defenses so we can invade their base later. The game keeps hyping up these big events that are set up through previous missions, but then when you get to those big events, they aren't connected to the previous missions. I didn't end up managing to kill Errol because I killed all those metalheads earlier, or because I took on the KG bots, or because I went into the sewers to open up a path to the metalhead territory. Errol ended up coming to me. I waited around for him to take action, then I fought him. The rest is just sloppy exposition. My frustration about these missions is even further compounded by the fact that they're not even fun to play. Driving in this game is a royal pain in the ass because... oh my god. They gave you a drift button, right? So that if you ever need to turn a sharp corner, you can drift as opposed to braking, stopping, turning, and then accelerating. But you never actually use the drift button because the vehicles you drive in the desert area are just annoyingly always drifting by themselves all the time. If you so much as lightly tap the analog stick in the left or right direction, your vehicle starts sliding around as if you're driving on ice. It leads to so many frustrating moments where you'll flip your car or run into the useless AI enemy vehicles you encounter in the desert who, by the way, can't aim for their lives but only serve as a hazard when the physics flip out and send you tumbling into them like what you're witnessing right now. And when you're not in a vehicle, then honestly the game is just boring. You have the same moveset and guns available to you as you did in Jak 2, but this time around you're given upgrades throughout the game that really just make your weapons straight up broken. You rarely run out of ammo because not only do enemies drop it a lot, but you're bound to find crates full of ammo around you in the environment. But surely, the enemies are tougher to compensate for that and much easier to die, right? Wrong. Alongside Dark Jak, in this game you're also given a light form to use. Well, it's not so much a light form as it is a series of upgrades that channel light eco. The very first upgrade you get is the ability to fully restore your health bar at the cost of light eco. I could list tons of times I used this to prevent my death, but the best and most pathetic example is found in the final boss, where they allow you to fully replenish your light eco, which in turn means you can fully replenish your health. This is the final boss. And that's what it comes down to for me. Things like this. The final boss being an absolute joke, the useless missions, the cringy writing, the mindless gun upgrades. These alone do not make a bad game. But these small, annoying little mistakes easily add up and make a game that is not only uninteresting to follow, but boring to play. My thoughts on this game? Honestly, it sounds harsh and probably more dramatic and whiny than I want to come off, but I wish I just spent my time playing something else. Not another game, another series. That's what I'm left to think, honestly. What have I gained from this series? The first game left me wanting a better collectathon. The second game left me wanting a better sequel. The third game, it was just boring. It did nothing to improve. It opened with fresh new ideas that can mix things up, but then got scared of the change and went back to its comfort zone. Originally, I was planning on making a final, fourth video looking back on the whole series and summarizing my thoughts on it. But now that I think about it, what else is there left to say without sounding repetitive and negative? I'm not blind to the fact that people love these games. It always makes me a bit upset when I voice a negative opinion about something that so many people love. It isn't to the point where I would feel scared about saying anything bad at all, but I feel like making a whole fourth video where I rehash all my issues with the series is just beating a dead horse. I just didn't enjoy this series. That's all there is to it, I think. Maybe I'll go back and play Jak 1 out of boredom one day and find it better the second time around. But I doubt I'll ever go back and play Jak 2, let alone 3. It's time for me to move on. Onto what, I don't know, but I want to shift gears and focus on something new for now. I've already got a few ideas in the pipeline, and E3 is right around the corner, so I could always do stuff in regards to that. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows. I'm rambling. Until then, though, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with hopefully a more positive video than the last 3.